Levi! Levi, thought we were filming today. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Dude!
What?
No. Now, if this is what we're going to be involved in now, I'm done. I'm not doing the channel anymore. Dude, you have a family. You have children. How can you be messing around with this?
What the f are you talking about?
You're making crack.
Out of stump remover and sugar?
Oh. It is sugar. Wait, what are you doing?
Why did you check to see if it was sugar by rubbing it on your gums?
Let's move past it. So, what is all this?
All right, yeah. So, today we're going to teach everybody at home how to make homemade smoke bombs out of potassium nitrate, which is stump remover that you can buy at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, garden variety sugar, and all you need is a hot plate, scale, pot, coffee grinder, and something to put the concoction in before you light it and make a lot of smoke and fire. So, welcome back everybody. I know we had a little bit of a break. Things got a little hectic at work, didn't have enough time to make any videos, but we're back. We're going to start trying to make more regular content. So, the first thing we want to do is find out what kind of drugs Andrew's on.
Why? Do we have a drug test coming up?
Not that you know of. Let's get past all that, okay? Let's go to what we need to do. So let's get started mixing everything up. I'm going to give you a quick explanation of what everything is. As you already know, we've got our sugar, our stump remover. This is a little cardboard mailing tube. You can get them at UPS store, Office Depot, things like that. This is what we're going to put our mixture in when we ignite it. Coffee grinder. There's certain ways you can make this mixture that require that this stuff be ground into a fine powder. We're not going to need that today. I'm just going to use this to make an ignition source because I don't have any fuses. So let's get started mixing. I think I want to do 240 grams of the potassium nitrate. And this stuff's kind of clumpy. So as you're pouring it, a big clump will come out and just screw your weight all up. Come on, we're almost there. So we've got our 240 grams of potassium nitrate. There we go. We want to do 160 grams of sugar. And I went way too far over. 160 grams. And you just mix it thoroughly. Potassium nitrate's a lot heavier than sugar, so as you're shaking it up, the potassium nitrate's going to try to settle at the bottom. So tip it upside down, right side up. Just try to get it mixed as thoroughly as possible. And then into the pot we go. All right, so this is the longest part of the entire process here. We have to cook this over medium-high heat until all the sugar caramelizes. It's going to turn brown, and it's going to get to pretty much a silly putty type consistency. And once it's all brown, thoroughly mixed, then you'll pour it hot into your container. So let's cook this, let's get it caramelized, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, we've caramelized our solution here. Now we're just gonna pour it straight into our container. Get as much of this out as we can. I want to leave a little bit in there so when it cools, we can chip it off and test our mixture. So I'll leave a little bit in there, let it cool off. Then we'll just take a bolt, stick it through the center here, and that's just going to open up a little hole in the middle and allow any pressure that's inside while this is burning to escape so that it doesn't just explode. They have a tendency to do that sometimes. But there it is. There's your smoke bomb. I made a couple before we started shooting the video so we'd have something to light off in a timely manner. They're in the freezer. They should be about ready. We'll take this and put it in the freezer and we'll go play with the two that I made earlier. It's hot. Right, these have hardened very well. All right, so here are the two that we made earlier. They've hardened pretty well. They're about ready. I was playing around with some mixtures. This one here has a little bit of paraffin wax in it. And you put a little paraffin wax in and the wax burns, creates a really thick white smoke, and it just enhances your smoke bomb. This one here, this one's got a little bit more potassium nitrate than sugar. I would say it's probably maybe a 70-30 mix. So I wanted to try that and see how well it burned and smoked. So let's come back over to the table and I'll show you how to make the ignition source. All right, our ignition source is really easy to make. That's what we need the coffee grinder for. And it's just a 50-50 mixture of the sugar and the potassium nitrate. But what you have to do is you have to grind it up into a very fine powder in the coffee grinder. Grind them one at a time and then mix them in a separate container. Never grind them together. All right, I'm going to add a little of this ignition source. It probably doesn't need it, but I'm going to add a little bit of this into this hole we poked in the center. Just fill that hole up. There we go. And that should help ignite our smoke bomb. Make sure our ignition source is far enough away so it doesn't explode. There we go. So this one has the paraffin wax in it. It's probably going to be just a little harder to start, and it may not be successful at all, but we're going to give it a try and see. So, before we light the last one off, the one that we made together, I know, so sentimental, let's go over some safety tips. This stuff burns very hot, extremely hot. Hard surfaces, concrete, gravel, no grass, nothing, Don't do it near anything that's flammable. And also, once you've lit it, go ahead and get away from it because it does tend to blow hot ash out. On the other hand, the smoke is pretty safe. It's not going to hurt you. Andrew and I were just standing in it. It kind of smells like cotton candy. All right, so let's light this bad boy off. Just as good when it's hard or when it's still a little malleable. That was an impressive amount of smoke. Well, there it is, guys. That's how you make a homemade smoke bomb. Pretty fun, pretty easy, pretty cheap. But you have to remember those safety warnings because somebody who was holding the camera forgot those safety warnings immediately after I gave them. You'll notice in one of the scenes that the camera jumps, and that's because some hot ash blew up onto Andrew's arm.
That's what dedication is right there. I do that for you people.
Yeah, he does it for you, not because he's a dumbass. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining us on Learning with Levi on our first episode of Breaking Sad. And remember, if it ain't burning, you ain't learning.